The Oklahoma City Thunder are back in the NBA Finals for the first time in 13 years. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video of Spectator Sports. I'm your host Sebastian Fonseca, and in this video we will be detailing on how the Oklahoma City Thunder were rebuilt from a team that was in the lottery for a few years to now on the brink of an NBA title. But before we get into the content, please do us a massive favor. Drop a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you want to get clips from additional videos on Spectator Sports, we got that for you here on YouTube in our various playlists, as well as on TikTok for now. If you want to enjoy Spectator Sports from an audio perspective, we got that for you on Spotify. I'll link everything in the description, and let's get into the video. The Oklahoma City Thunder are back in the NBA Finals, gentlemen sweeping the Minnesota Timberwolves by an average margin of 18 points a game. Newly crowned MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dominated the series with the exclusion of Game 3's annihilation. While Anthony Edwards has had a great postseason, taking the Minnesota Timberwolves to back-to-back Western Conference Finals, he was consistently outdueled by SGA, who averaged 31 points a game, 8 assists a game, and 5 rebounds a game, compared to Ant's 23, 5, and 7. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stayed true to form during this entire postseason run, hanging over 30 points a game with remarkable efficiency. Despite all the free throw merchant talk, I can honestly say that maybe 1 to 2 calls were maybe unfair towards the T-Wolves, but otherwise the MVP consistently torched Minnesota's defensive scheme, drawing fouls and dominating in the mid-range game, including an epic Game 4 performance, putting up a playoff career high of 40 points, 9 assists, and leading the Oklahoma City Thunder to a commanding 3-1 series edge. Similarly to Jokic, Shai controls the game with his mind, always making the right read, knowing when to settle for jumpers, when to drive to the rim, or when to kick it out. He never forces the issue or goes chasing highlight plays or empty stats. Not only has he become one of the NBA's best scorers, but his leadership and being a capable team defender on a team full of all defensive NBA caliber players makes him one of the NBA's biggest superstars. His efforts not only won him the regular season MVP, but also the Western Conference Finals MVP, guiding the Oklahoma City Thunder to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012. The last time the Thunder made the NBA Finals, they had James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant. Each were under the age of 24, only scraping the surface of their potential, as each of them went on to win MVP at some point in their career. Unfortunately, that trio fell to LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh and the Miami Heat in just 5 games. But this team seemed poised for a return. However, that very offseason, James Harden was due for a contract extension, and GM Sam Presti didn't want to fork over a measly $5 million and decided to use that money for Serge Ibaka's extension. He later shipped out James Harden to Houston, as the Thunder would still be one of the best teams in the Western Conference, led by the duo of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. But this move, trading Harden, greatly weakened this team, as they never seemed to get through either San Antonio or the Golden State Warriors. Eventually, Kevin Durant would leave Russ as the lone superstar in OKC, departing for the Golden State Warriors in 2016. Russ went on to have historic seasons, averaging triple-doubles, but never got past the first round, despite the Thunder's front office bringing in Paul George. And in 2019, the Thunder were matched up against the Portland Trail Blazers on the road in Game 5, with the game teetering with a chance to maybe extend the series to a potential Game 6 back in OKC. However, Damian Lillard sinks an epic game-winning shot in the face of Paul George that sent the Oklahoma City Thunder into a rebuild. That summer, PG was shipped to the LA Clippers in a stunning move that changed the NBA landscape forever. In return, the Oklahoma City Thunder got a record 5 first-round picks, Danilo Gallinari, and a kid known as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And later that week, Russell Westbrook was dealt to the Houston Rockets, and the Rockets sent Chris Paul in return. That PG trade in particular got them the most return for a single player in NBA history, and it seemed that the Thunder would be heading into a rebuilding mode for quite some time. However, in the first year post Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul ended up having somewhat of a renaissance in his career. He was a 2020 All-Star and led the Oklahoma City Thunder to a surprising playoff appearance in the NBA's bubble down in Orlando. And in this process, this was great experience for SGA in just his second year in the association. After the season, Chris Paul would get traded to Phoenix for additional first-round picks to add to Oklahoma City's haul. One of the first-round picks from that Paul George trade ended up being Jalen Williams, who is now the Thunder's second best player. A two-way wing while also being a reliable second option next to Shai. This was also part of an amazing 2022 draft that got him the second overall pick that they used on Chet Holmgren, a super long, versatile big man who can shoot the three while also protecting the rim. They also got Jalen Williams, who is a huge piece of their bench today. Unfortunately, Chet's rookie year was paused due to a nasty foot injury that he suffered in the Drew League that summer. And with him on the shelf for that year, the Thunder still progressed forward. After 2 years of missing the playoffs, the Thunder made it to the 2023 play-in tournament as the 10th seed, and they became the first 10th seed to win a play-in game. However, the Thunder would fail to qualify for the 2023 NBA playoffs, but this was a team on the rise, knowing that Chet would come back healthy in 2024, and they still got a ton of experience with this young core. In 2024, they bursted onto the scene, exceeding expectations, winning 57 games, earning the Western Conference top seed. And this core would go on to sweep the first round series against the New Orleans Pelicans, but eventually fall in the second round to the eventual Western Conference champion Dallas Mavericks, led by Luka Doncic. In that series, the Thunder's lack of size and experience came back to haunt them, but once again, they took it on the chin and still had a very positive season, like I said, exceeding expectations. In 2025, this core came back motivated to finish the job, but they also brought in veterans like Isaiah Hartenstein for the New York Knicks and standout perimeter defender Alex Caruso. And in this season, the Thunder's identity changed. A team full of tough, rugged defenders between Alex Caruso, Chet Holmgren, Cason Wallace, who was drafted in 2023, veteran Lou Dort, who's been on the team since 2019, and Jalen Williams, who joined Lou Dort as an all-NBA defensive selection this season. This was all part of a 68-win year, coasting to the NBA's best record and now into the NBA Finals. Sam Presti may not have been able to build a championship-winning team the first time, but 12 years later, his rebuild has him 4 wins away from the Thunder's first title since relocating to Oklahoma City in 2008. While Shai Gilgeous-Alexander may be the alpha of this team, J-Dub has had a resurgent 6 games. After struggling mightily in the second round series against the Denver Nuggets, he responded in Game 7 with 24 points and replicated that success in the Western Conference Finals with 22 points a game while averaging 2 steals a game, including a virtuoso playoff career high performance in Game 4, where he had 34 points to fend off the Minnesota Timberwolves' comeback efforts to help take a commanding 3-1 series lead. Chet Holmgren has taken another step forward as well, with a slight change to his role thanks to the offseason acquisition of Isaiah Hartenstein, and that's his ability to roam. Essentially playing free safety, he can guard the perimeter but also defend the rim as a weak side shot blocker, providing smothering defense while also having the ability to spread out the floor thanks to his shooting. With this, the Thunder put opposing defenses into compromising situations. They can either cut off the driving lane to the basket for SGA or try to contest a Chet Holmgren three-pointer, which is anyways tough duty because he has an unbelievable high release due to his height. We touch base on the personnel of this historic Oklahoma City Thunder defense. But let's get into how they are so dominant defensively. This group features a strong list of individual defensive talents, but put them together, it's a defensive system that maximizes everyone's abilities, making it nearly impossible to score on. They play the passing lane so well, getting deflections left and right. They have so much defensive versatility, as you saw with Alex Caruso's ability to guard Nikola Jokic in Game 7, or Jalen Williams at times playing center in the regular season due to various injuries to Oklahoma City's big men. But it's also the fact that they have no weak link on defense. You don't have to hide anyone because everybody buys in. Even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's not known to be a defensive stalwart, still provides a positive impact on the defensive end. Without any flashy defensive highlights, the Thunder are 5 points better in terms of defensive rating when he's on the court. And we spoke about Alex Caruso's versatility, but the way he also hustles to the ball has made that trade last summer one of the best trades in last year's offseason. It's basically the Drew Holiday move to the Boston Celtics that put the Boston Celtics in a situation to become one of the best defenses in recent history. That has the same impact that we're seeing with Alex Caruso with the Oklahoma City Thunder. If he didn't miss significant time in the regular season, he would have been the third all-defensive player on this Thunder team. And let's get into Lu Dort, who made first team all-defense for the first time in his career, and it's been long overdue. I mean, this guy has been one of the nicest stories you'll ever see in the NBA. He went undrafted in 2019, but signed with the Oklahoma City Thunder on a G League contract, got called up onto the active roster in 2020, and became an integral part of the Thunder rotation since. He's been so strong guarding bigger wings, but also has unique lateral quickness to keep in front of the speedier guards in the association. And the sneaky part about this Thunder defense is Cason Wallace. He's in his sophomore year, but his impact is huge for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The net defense explodes to 114 compared to 105 when he's off the court. And he's always playing super hard, getting deflections, and making it a nightmare to whoever he's guarding on ball. The Thunder are a defensive machine that never stops. They have relentless pressure on the ball and in rotation, and they have a whole crew of defenders waiting to be deployed off the bench, as Mark Daigneault likes to go 10 men deep sometimes in his rotations, even in the playoffs. This keeps the team fresh and ready to go whenever they need a stop defensively. The Thunder have a chance to be an all-time great team if they finish this off, as right now they own a 80-18 record. If they win the title, they'll have more wins when you combine the regular season and the postseason than the 1996 Chicago Bulls. And it feels to me that no matter who comes out of the Eastern Conference, they'll stand little to no chance against the Thunder in the NBA Finals. Comment your thoughts on the Thunder's rebuild and where does it rank all time. And also let me know your thoughts if they'll win the NBA Finals.